So you are going to turn these in, but not till Friday. You'll turn it. You'll have that first factoring worksheet that we did Monday, and then these, and then you'll have So that, this, and then you'll have another worksheet tomorrow. So you'll have 3 that you will turn in on Friday.
Where do we get that one?
The third one?
No, this one.
This one, it's right here. You have to write it down.
The one on the back. On the front.
That was from Monday. Were you here Monday?
Yeah, I did it.
Oh, I have it then. That's right. There's a couple I have. I gave them all back. Remind me before we're done. So on these, I want to start with number 4, and that's going to lead us into a couple new kinds of factoring. All right. Whoa, hey, that's calculus. You don't want to see that. Oh, you didn't write these down? You can get them after class. I don't want to bore our YouTube viewers with.
Are you gonna like edit this part out?
10? I don't know. One of my videos yesterday got 19 views. I was like,
whoa, 19 views.
Dang, I'm almost getting paid. A couple more.
How many do you need to get?
Like 100,000. We're almost there. We are almost there. Let's look at number 4. Let's see. X squared plus 4 equals 4 minus 2x. And I'm playing the random person game today. It's exciting. So we'll hear your voice on YouTube. I won't say your last name. So I'll be like, oh, Jonathan, what do you think? And we'll start with you. What do you think? What are we going to do first? Got nothing?
Nothing.
Have you ever done the brackets?
Brackets? What do you mean?
Parentheses.
Parentheses?
Yeah.
Oh, you're ready to factor already?
Or we're not
No. You have to equal one side to 0.
Yeah, you gotta get it equal to 0. Get everything to one side, get it equal to 0. So if we're gonna do that, someone said subtract 4.
I said that. Yeah, Guillermo Gonzalez.
Look him up on Facebook.
Do you want to score 33 too?
But what happens here? We got zeros, right?
Yeah.
And so now we got x squared equals negative 2x. Did anyone square root it?
No.
Good. That's good. I'm glad you did it. Because then you'd have x equal. A lot of people will do that and they'll have this and they'll be like, oh, look it, there it is. I'm like, you can't have x in your answer for x. That doesn't make sense. Like, you still don't know anything. It's like in English when you're like, what is the definition of plagiarism?
Square.
Oh, it's when you plagiarize something. Well, that doesn't make sense. What? Okay. Anyway, so what are we going to do next? Add the 2x. Yeah, whenever you have an x squared and an x in the same equation, you're going to need to factor. So we add the 2x. We got x squared plus 2x equals
0.
0. Hey.
Now you put the parentheses down?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Or not?
There's a couple different ways of doing this. I want to hear from a couple of you. And,
I only put one side parentheses down.
put the parentheses down. Who did it this way?
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it? Why not?
I didn't get
Well, I got mine
I
wrong.
stopped like
Stop. Why?
I did the minus 4 and then I just stopped.
Oh.
Because it was like x equals
Oh, no.
2x equals 0 and I didn't know where to go from there.
Did anyone go right here and factor it? Michelle, what did you do?
I did 2 and 0.
Oh, so you did x and x. And then you kind of went, oh, x squared plus 2x. And you might be like, well, there's nothing there to multiply to. Well, sure, how about a 0? Doesn't that hard? So what multiplies to 0 and adds to 2? 2 and 0. Plus 2 plus 0. That works.
Yeah. There's a simpler way of doing it.
That works, and it's not wrong, but there is a simpler way to do it, which will help you with other types in the future. So we'll go back to right here. X squared plus 2x. Whoops. I'm getting all sloppy here. X squared plus 2x. If we're going to factor that, this is going to be called, I mean, there's really not a name for this. It's just factoring. Do you know what the word factoring means?
Like the straight
No.
definition?
Just your definition. When you factor something? Yeah, okay, I should use factor. Factor is when you factor something.
When you break something down.
Good, better.
Yeah.
To break it into things where when you multiply those, you get that thing back. It's like you've been factoring since like 2nd grade, maybe not 2nd, 3rd, somewhere in there. Like, what are the factors of 10? Oh, 1 times 10, 2 times 5. Those are 1, 2, 10, 5, 10, right? Because if you multiply them, you get that thing. Well, factoring is just, what can I break that into to where when I multiply them, I get that thing back?
I don't know. Make one side.
And the easy way to do that, before you do any kind of factoring, I should have done this even before we did that first worksheet, is you pull out whatever they have in common. Do they have a common factor?
They both have X.
Yes, they do. They both have X, don't they?
He's good.
So what this was equal to 0. So what you're going to do, since they both have an X, you divide by both of them by X, or you pull it out. And what I mean by pull it out is, you're going to have parentheses, you bring out an X, because they both have X. So if I bring an X out of this, what's left inside?
X plus 2.
Thanks, Clayton. He was all excited. He came in at lunch, didn't know how to do this problem.
I finally figured out how to do it. It felt so smart.
Yeah. So we'll do more examples. This won't be the only example. But you think X times what will give me X squared? X. And X times what will give me 2X?
2.
Positive 2. That is factored. You've done it. You just pull it out with them. That's completely factored. Now, to solve the equation, set each factor equal to 0. So X equals 0. Boom, that one's done. And X plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2. X equals -2. Those are your 2 answers. Which we could have got using those. This was just a little different way. So we're not going to solve any more equations today, but we're just going to factor stuff.
Good, my head hurts.
We're going to factor stuff.
Oh, dear. It's okay.
So here's another one.
Wait, Ms. Raffin, why do you get 2 answers on that?
That's what you're looking for.
It's a quadratic. It's X squared. Put an X squared and an X. When we start getting into graphing things, you'll see it's obvious why. Right now, for most of the time, when you see an X squared in an equation, you're going to get 2 answers. Not all of the time.
How did you get 2?
X equals 0 and X equals -2. If I go back to the original, if I plug in 0, 4 equals 4, it works. If I plug in -2, you get 8 equals 8, it works. Okay, common factor. Factor these.
Are we gonna have to turn this on?
Turn this, no, this is just like example problems. So if you got 4x minus 8, can you factor that? You sure can, or else I wouldn't have given it to you. Should we have one of our guests see if they can factor it?
No, they won't. Yeah, Shane's smart.
Okay, we'll go random person. It's Jeremy. Jeremy,
Yes.
if you're going to factor that, what do you think?
Back to that.
Yeah.
We should see what equals to -8.
No, this isn't. See, you're not. This isn't an x1 with x squared x. Factoring. There's lots of different kinds of factoring. Factoring isn't just x squared x and then you put 2 sets of equations. That's one type of factoring. That's how you factor a quadratic. You know, that's how you factor something like that. But remember, factoring is just breaking it into stuff that when you multiply it together, you get that. So, what do those have in common? Those 2 terms. 2, they do. Is there a bigger number that they have in common? 4. You want to go for the biggest. That'll be the easiest. So you bring out a 4. And if you do that, what's left inside? We'll go random person. Martha's not here. So we'll go Hadley. What's left inside? Got to stay on your game. X? Yeah, 4 times x is 4x, and negative and minus 2. She's right. That's how that works. Let's pretend we went with Jeremy's original answer, and we pulled out a 2.
Uh-huh.
So then it would just be
What would be inside?
2x minus
2x minus 4. That's not wrong. Those are equivalent. 2 times 2x minus 4 is 4x minus 8. But it's just not completely factored. It's not done. So if you did do that, you should be able to go, oh, those still have another 2 in common, don't they? So I'll pull out another 2. 2 times x minus 2, and then I still got that 2 chilling out there. Well, so now I have 4 times x minus 2. So it's okay if you don't get the biggest number at first. You just got to pull more stuff out. And then remember, you already had a 2 out there. And we'll see another one like that later. That's complicated? That was the easiest one.
I wasn't very good at that.
That was easy.
I wasn't good at
Factor
math,
that.
so I was just-
I put the little arrow just to like, I don't know.
Was that what it was on top too, the top one, that was down?
Yeah, those are arrows.
Oh.
Showing the factor form next to it. I guess I could put equal signs, but then people get confused that like it's an equation and they have to solve for x.
Got it.
What do you see write down that?
This is more complicated.
Hey, yo, can we come over here?
Maybe. Can I say it? Can I try?
Kevin, it's Kevin's up. I picked Kevin.
They have common actually.
They have an x in common, don't they? Well, that's what we're gonna pull out. Okay, Casey. There's your-
Never mind, I already got it.
You're old. What's inside?
No, I didn't mean that. I mean, he like stole it.
Well, there's more to be had here.
I need to put in x plus 5.
That's correct. X times x plus 5. X times x, x squared. X times 5 is 5x. That's it. Okay, we'll kick it up a notch here. It's too easy. It's too easy.
The first one was hard for me. How was this supposed to be?
3x squared minus 9x factor.
Why am I not smart? What is it that I understand?
Can't we still do it the other way though, if we wanted to?
Put a plus 0.
No.
Yeah.
That'll be difficult. Much easier if you just pull out what they have in common.
Well, we both have 3.
Well, we already had Jonathan.
James wants.
Let's go again. Oh. Have they again? Man, again, the same
Yeah,
people.
it's called Jeremy. I'm gonna try
The
something.
same people. A blank desk. I got a blank desk. Let's go down here to the
Jeremy.
list. Tyrone. What do they have in common, Tyrone? 3. I agree.
And the next or?
Anything else? And an x. Yeah, they both have a 3. They both have an x. So if we have 3x on the outside, what goes on the inside, Mariah? 3x times x is 3x squared, and what's going to go here? Anybody?
3.
3. Yeah, easy, right? Boom. 3x times x minus 3. One more. I want this is the challenge one. This is like, see if you're awesome. Are you a level 4? I want this completely factored. The key is completely factored.
How do you do it when it has like the plus or minus something?
Plus or minus?
Like, you know when it says, like, the one that I put them, I don't know how, my head hurts. I don't
Okay,
know
yeah, I
how to
don't know.
explain it. Like that, but like you put like plus 4, like that. Okay. Wait, no. Chill out.
Yo, I couldn't do the other one.
Yeah, I'm not trying.
I'm gonna drop out.
No.
First, think about what they have. Look for what they have in common.
Okay.
Don't yell it out right now. Let everyone think.
Yeah.
Definitely an x.
Agree. I think you got it.
We don't think they have the final answer.
No, I only have one.
I think I did.
I just want to see.
I have to put these.
Well, we'll have a little talk here with this person. See, I kind of cheat if I like look at the signature. I kind of be like, I want to get someone in front.
Was it Jim? Was it
Nameless, then it's more.
Was it Jim?
It's more random. Cecilia,
Oh, okay.
what do you think? What do they have in common? Anything. Just give us one of the. X. They do all have X.
Being cheated.
Just X or more. We can go with just X if you want. Definitely an X.
Yeah.
This is X to the 4th, right? That's x to the third, that's x squared, so is there more than one x maybe that they all have in
Yes,
common?
there's gonna be 3.
Do you agree with Ernie?
No.
This one doesn't have 3 x's, does it?
9.
So what's the most x's they all have in common?
9.
X squared.
Squared.
They all have x squared in common.
They also all have 4 in common.
They also all have 4 in common. 4 goes into 4, 4 goes into 12, and 4 goes into 40.
Sure.
So 4x squared is what you will pull out. If you haven't got that yet, which most of you I don't think did,
mean that?
Okay, but what goes in the middle? That's the part that confused me. I know what the last one is, but I don't know what the middle one is.
let everyone think, figure out the inside. What goes on the
We're gonna
inside?
be 12x.
Wait.
She's fast.
You're fast. You're advanced.
I'm not a man.
You count.
Okay. Can you see everybody? Okay.
What?
4x squared times what gives you 4x? It's the first one. And we'll go to the...
Wait, what did you say?
I said, the way you figure out the inside, there's going to be 3 terms, right?
I don't get 4x squared.
4x squared, think about distributive property. If I did 4x squared times this one, I need to get 4x to the 4. So what goes there? If I do 4x squared times this one, I get that. If I do 4x squared times this one, I get that.
It kind of makes sense now. Why kind of makes sense?
Kind of, getting better?
Yeah,
Alright.
Things in the middle?
Yeah.
I give you props, you're good.
You already blurted out the x squared, that's right, but we'll fill in the rest. And we'll go with
3x.
Alexis. You know, what's going to go here? 4x squared times what? We'll give you 12x.
3x.
3? Yep. But x squared times what? It's going to give you x to the third. X. Positive or negative? Positive. Alright. And the last one, we'll go with Marilo. What do you think? What's going to go here?
Minus 10x.
Minus 10x. You guys agree?
No.
Drop the
What's
X.
wrong? Yeah, if this had an x, 4x squared times that would be negative 40, but x squared times x is x to the third. We don't need that x. This already has x squared, so x squared times 4x squared times 10 will be 40x squared. We've got it. We're not done, folks. We are not done.
Live.
We factored out the common factor, but guess
There's
what?
still x's inside.
This is still factorable.
What is?
So it's just like Monday's worksheet. Oh, hey, look it. What multiplies to negative 10 adds to 3.
5.
Positive 5 and negative 2. Now we're completely factored.
So what if we left 11 at the top?
You are not completely factored. You're not done.
I know why you don't get a lot of subscribers.
What?
You make long videos. No one's gonna watch it all.
They're thrilling, though. You never know what's going to happen next.
Should I have pop-up?
He's gonna get 5 more. Just let you know, Courtney watches your videos.
See? I have loyal subscribers. Never miss an episode.
And Amarillo is in the shot.
Dang it, now I can't post it. It's illegal. Only his face. Hopefully his face is neck down. Alright, so that's factoring out a common factor. Now we're gonna have another one here. Cool. Little new way, by the way, I need this. That factoring out a common factor should always be the very first thing you look for whenever you're trying to factor anything. Look for, do they have anything in common?
Big numbers though.
The biggest you can get, yeah. Because if you could pull out something they have in common, it'll always make the next steps easier. If you must. Factor this. This is kind of a new thing here. Can you factor that?
Yes.
Try it.
Like the way we're just doing.
No.
Do they have anything in common?
No.
So it's not going to be what we were just doing. They have nothing in common.
So they don't have nothing in common with you.
And then you gotta move on to what other kind of factoring do you know how to do? Next problem.
X equals to 0.
Well, that's if you're solving for x. Yeah, we could, and you would use factoring to solve it. Right now we're just factoring. What's wrong with this one? Does it look like Mondays?
No.
Why not?
Doesn't have an
Does
X.
it have an X?
Oh, could we put one?
You don't know, can we? Well, you can't just start
Can we do that?
Oh!
I've never seen that before.
Different
0x.
0, yeah, because that's 0. And then it would be nothing. No,
No,
x
X
is
is
1x.
X is 1.
But I could throw it in there. Now can you factor it?
Yeah.
Okay, do it. Guillermo, you are the chosen one. Even though you volunteered earlier.
X plus 0 and x minus 4?
Do 0 and -4 multiply to
Oh,
get
no,
negative?
no.
Oh, it doesn't work. So what multiplies to get -4 and adds to 0?
1 and negative. But it
2 and
doesn't-
negative 2.
Oh, yeah.
Plus 2 minus 2. There it is. Okay. There's something to notice here, though, and something that always works, and it's a very magical thing, and it'll save you a lot of time. You don't have to put that 0x in there. This is something, this situation has a name. The difference of 2 squares. What do you think that means? Difference of 2 squares. I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. It's not 2 extremely boring people at a party talking about things that they do not have in common.
Man, you should go on Comedy Central.
See, that's why the subscribers keep coming back. Stuff like that. You just never know what you're
I
doing.
don't know.
All right. So in math, let's think about math. What's a square? Yeah, okay. There's that. There's the polygons up there on the wall. Numbers. What's a square number? You know what a square number is? 4 is a square number. Give me another one.
36.
16, 36, 1, 4. What's the next one after 4?
16.
No. 6? No. 9.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Then 16.
16. Some people haven't caught on yet.
How did you do that?
No,
What's 1 times 1?
2.
What's 2 times 2? 3 times 3.
25.
4 times 4. 5 times 5. 6 times 6. 7 times 7. 8 times 8. 9 times 9. 10 times 10. 11 times 11. 12 times 12.
144.
what's that?
13 times 13.
And we're not.
Because that's, you know that, because that's when you're in elementary school, that's where it stops. It goes 12 times 12, that's the bottom right corner of 144. No one ever goes beyond that, so I got screwed.
I think it's 169.
It's 169. 14 times 14?
188.
I think it's 204. 140.
Because 15 times 15 is
No, 196.
225.
196.
Okay, we're done.
Okay, whatever. You get the point, those are square numbers. The number times itself.
Yes.
Another example, if you're using variables, x squared is a square number because it's squared. Yeah, all right. So what's difference mean in math? Subtract. All right. So here's the thing. If you are subtracting 2 square numbers, it's very, very easy to factor. And this always works when this happens. For another example, if you have x squared minus 25. To factor that quickly and easily, all it is, what's the square root of x squared? Or what times what gives you x squared? X. What times what gives you 25? 5. Do 1 plus 1 minus, boom, you're done. That always works. Here, it was x and it was 2.
2 squared numbers.
But it only works if they're both squared and it's subtraction. Has to be subtraction. Must be typical. If it's plus, it doesn't work. Because, oops. What would you put? Positive 5s or negative 5s? Positive? Okay. Well, now if you multiply it back together, you get x squared plus 5x plus 5x
You get 10x.
plus 25, you have plus 10x in the middle there.
If you do negatives, you can have the same problem.
And if you do negatives, you have negative 10x in the middle. But when one's positive and one's negative,
Makes
you
sense.
get minus 5x plus 5x, which is 0 in the middle, and it goes away. So it only works with square numbers and subtraction. So let's try a few of these. And we'll just go straight for the letters.
Oh no. Wait, no, this is easy.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody got those numbers though.
Don't yell it out. What?
Boom.
Richard, what do you think? You were the chosen one. You give us anything? No, we just learned it. It's the first one. All I need is, what times what will give you x squared?
X.
Everyone answers.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. X.
What times what will give you?
What times what will give you y squared?
Why?
Y. 1 plus, 1 minus, boom, you're done. X plus y, x minus y. That's all there is. Difference of 2 squares is like fun. You see it and you're like, yes, it's difference of 2 squares. I can factor that.
It seems so hard.
Yeah.
So easy.
You actually get that excited.
Do.
Why get so excited?
Okay. We got 2 more, but we're going to kick it up a notch. Here we go. Ready? Remember what I told you, your first step should always be. I have to follow you to do that. You feel confident?
I feel pretty confident.
All right, Jeremy. What is it?
Because I put 4. And no,
Oh, you pulled the 4 out.
yeah. It was
Good. You listened. I was hoping you'd get it wrong.
Wow.
Not because it's you, just to show a point.
Right.
Took a 4 out.
Dang.
Yeah, and I put X on both, plus 4.
Will be x squared minus
4. Oh, yes, you did got that wrong.
4. Oh.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Yeah, they wrong.
But do you see, you pull 4 out, 4 times x squared is 4x squared, 4 times negative 4 is
Oh,
negative
okay, I get that.
six. But then this is still factorable, isn't it? Isn't this difference of 2 squares?
Yeah.
So you just x plus 2, x minus 2. And there's your 4 times x plus 2 times x.
That's what I did.
What I was thinking you would do was go, oh, 2x, 2x plus 4 minus 4. Anyone do that?
Okay, you can do that too.
That's correct, but it's not completely factored
Well, that's right.
because these factors still have 2's in common. You could take a 2 out of this one. And you'd have 2 times x plus 2. You could take a 2 out of this one. And you'd have 2 times x minus 2. Then you have 2 times x plus 2 times 2 times x minus 2. Doesn't matter what order we multiply stuff in. So I'll bring this guy over with him, and you have 4 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. Just a lot longer way of getting that. So same idea as this one. We'll call this the last one, I guess. It is difference of 2 squares, but if you do it, you might find that they're not completely factored.
We don't know how to do it.
8 does not go into 36. 32 would.
Yo, we just did that.
Here are a lot of you trying to figure out what number goes into both of those.
2 goes to both of them.
2.
Yeah, but that's freaking small.
Okay, but remember, you don't have to get the
Yeah, but
biggest
it's gonna
one.
make it so much simpler.
But you just have to do more work later. But if you can't think of something bigger,
4. It does 4? 4 goes into about 4.
4 does work.
Yes.
But I want to show an example of just, let's say you couldn't figure out the biggest one. Let's say you went with 2. What would happen? 2, anything else? No. I mean, 2, we're going to use 2, x, I mean, just once, 2x squared. If I pull out 2x squared, that leaves me 18x squared minus 32. Well, right there, you should go, oh, hey, look it. Those are both still even numbers, aren't they? So I should probably pull out another 2, shouldn't I? So this, you go 2 times 9x squared minus 16. Still have this guy. 2x squared times 2 is 4x squared. Which you could have done that right at the beginning. But let's, if you didn't figure it out, it's okay. You can recover later. Is this factorable right here?
Yeah.
Sure is. Is it a difference of 2 squares?
Yes.
Sure is. We'll see if Luis offers any insight here. You got that right there? I'm going to factor that bad boy. Okay, I'm assuming you mean back
Yeah.
here. What about right here? What's going to go before that? Remember, don't think too hard. It's the difference of 2 squares. What times what? That's the same thing. We'll give you 9x squared. 3x. 3x. So you have 4x squared times 3x plus 4 times 3x minus 4.
And that's the final thingy.
That's as farly. That's as factored as you can get.
So if we were to take a test and I stopped at that one, the
It's not
4x,
completely factored.
sorry to get it wrong.
Are you going to give us a worksheet to practice these?
Yes, tomorrow you'll receive a worksheet on pulling out common factors and difference of 2 squares. There's a third type of factor we're going to do, but neither of the other classes made it that far. So yeah, we're going to stop. We don't have a worksheet. Yeah, stop it.